for something big, not just settle for less. Your latest book, Newborn Entrepreneur. I want you to tell us about this book. What is it about?
The Newborn Entrepreneur, I specifically wrote out of my experience with trial and error starting different businesses, and that particular book I consider to be a blueprint for any person of any age that is ready to get into business for themselves, start a business, but you don't know the ins and outs. You don't know where to start, what type of incorporation you may need, what are those different incorporations benefits for you, and what do they represent for your company? How do they protect you? You know, which ones are the right ones? Most people, they only know two basic things, the basic format of an incorporation or either a nonprofit, but they're not aware that there are so many other types of incorporations that you could put your business under, and all of that could be determined by the benefit. You know, how far do you really want to go? What kind of protection will you really need for your business, et cetera? So that entire book has been, one, based off of my advice to any entrepreneur, my experience, as well as some things that I learned along the way with incorporations, working closely with different lawyers to learn this information. So that's what someone could benefit from, and I call it the Newborn Entrepreneur because I really want to deal with those that are new to business, new to starting business, those that are still taking the baby steps and crawling, trying to find their way. And, of course, you make many mistakes along the way, but this is one book that can help you clear out some of those mistakes before making them and get yourself a good start.
People do make mistakes in life, and mistakes don't mean that, well, that's the end of the world. You got to keep it moving. And you can always learn from people that have made mistakes. So you can learn from two different people. You can learn from those that are successful, that they mastered what it is or what it takes to be successful, and there are those that are still learning and they've failed along the way. A couple of steps that you can just literally just share with my listeners how to even start up a business. And what was the first thing to think about, what's the next thing to think about, at least three things that they should focus their mind on.
The first point of focus is who is your demographic, who is your audience, who are you trying to reach, who's your clientele. Once you have ironed that out, then you focus on the product or the service that you intend to provide. And the third quick and easy step would be, how do you plan to market that brand or that product or service? Do you intend to invest in media, publications, television, radio, etc.? Do you intend to grow your business via word of mouth? What is going to be your game plan to get yourself the exposure that you need? And I really don't even like the word exposure anymore. I would say the attention. You need attention. Anyone that's in business needs to create attention for your business. So what that simply means for me is, if you have to be relevant before your clients, you have to be creating the type of image and creating the type of drive that people want to pay attention to. So you have to find things to do, and in this generation and age, it's very easy to do. This radio interview is one of those things. Blogging on YouTube and letting people know what you do, what your service is, etc. Sharing pictures of whatever it is that you do on your account, your fan page, your Instagram, your Twitter, etc. All of these are methods, easy methods, free methods that you can use to promote your business, your brand, and what you do. And one of my new mottos that I say for this year is, if no one knows who you are and what you do, it's your fault.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
You have to take the initiative to promote yourself, to make noise about what you do, because people can feel that energy. They can feel the drive behind what you do. They know that you are a person that knows what they're talking about when they listen and they see you on the move, making moves. So that's my advice to any person starting, is to know your demographic, know the audience you're trying to reach, know how you want to market yourself, what your product or your brand is, and how you intend to market yourself.
Yeah, those are very nice, profound nuggets to craft. Know your demographic, your clientele, your product, service. What is your product? What is your service that you want to offer to people? And how do you plan to market those products and services to your targeted clientele? You got to have a marketing plan. You got to have people on your back as well, maybe a team of people that can help get your word out. Promote your business, speak about your business everywhere you go. Do not hesitate talking about your product. Do not hesitate talking about yourself. If yourself is your product, then everywhere you meet people, let them know who you are. You are at the barbershop, tell them what you do. You are at the salon, tell them what you do. You in the church, let everybody know who you are and what you are selling and how you can impact their lives with your product, with your services. So do not hesitate on pushing yourself and promoting yourself and marketing yourself to the people out there. And then you have all this social media that you can use and utilize to just expose yourself. I know you don't like using the word expose, but you can use to just promote and push yourself out there and let people know that you exist. And if they need your product or service, you are the right person to contact. Now, hearing you, it's kind of hard for me to chew on what you are saying, because I'm thinking this is a guy that I heard that he grew up in a foster care and now is a person doing great and mighty things. I mean, how was he growing up in a foster care?
Foster care was a bittersweet experience for me. It was not the best set of circumstances anyone would want to be in, but as it turned out for my situation, it happened to be the very best place for me to be, for the protection that I needed. My family lived in rough areas of New York. I've seen a lot of things as a child. I have friends that are dead that's no longer here that I grew up with. So in many senses, I always say foster care saved me. It took me away from that environment, put me in a different environment where I was nurtured, where I was protected, where I was able to grow, discover who I am, and that gave me the strength that I need to now return to my family, which in most cases, individuals in my circumstance or situation don't always have the best relationship when they return to their families. But I looked past a lot of things for the healing that I needed, to be complete, to reunite with my family, and to now contribute the person that I have become to my family. And I think that in many senses, those that are out there that's listening that have gone through foster care or broken family situations, my strongest advice to you would be not to focus on the hardships that you have endured. My strongest advice would be to focus on the healing that you need. And in most cases, you will discover that that requires letting go. You cannot sit there and hold on to some of that anger, some of those things, because let's be realistic. A lot of those things that happened, it was out of your control. And in some cases, we don't know all the details as to why people in our lives made the decisions that they've made. And in some cases, it may have been out of their control. So it's really not going to profit you to harbor those ill emotions and things of that nature. It's best to let it go. And if you have individuals in your life that are trying to rekindle your family relationship or anything of that nature, it's time to embrace that. I know those things don't come easy, but it's time to embrace that and allow God to do whatever he's doing in your life.
You said you grew up in a bad, rough environment. You had friends that they're no longer with us today. I'm sure in the same environment you saw drug dealers, you saw prostitution, be a lot of bad things happened in your environment. But how were you able to get yourself not in tune with what was going on? I mean, because I'm sure you had people then that were pressuring you, leading you to do crazy things. And at one point in time, you had to be like, nah, I got to make a better choice, right?
Right. One of the things my father instilled in me from young was to never make a decision based off of what someone else is doing, to always think for yourself. And if you make a choice, understand the consequences or the benefits. And so I've always had that mindset growing up from a very, very young age. But I would say the number one thing that gave me the strength to overcome a lot of adversities that was happening around me was the fact that I had faith in God. My faith in God was the number one thing that kept me. It kept me. It gave me something to focus on. It gave me something to channel my energy into, and it gave me direction, through prayer, through fasting, etc. I was able to get direction for my life concerning the things that God wanted from me and where he wanted me to be in life. And I don't think that without a relationship with God and with prayer, I would have made it this far.
Thanks for sliding that in, because I was going to ask you, how does God play a role in your life, in your accomplishments? And I'm glad that before I even asked that question, you talked about it. So knowing God is very important, especially when you are going through trials, tribulation, temptation, pressure from friends, growing up in a bad neighborhood where you see crazy things happening that you could have been in tune, you could have ended up doing the same thing that your friends were doing. I'm glad that you met God at the right age. You met God when you needed him the most. Thank you very much. I really appreciate what we've discussed on the show. You've given a powerful nugget on life, on entrepreneurship. There's one thing that you also do. You do write a lot, right?
Yes, I do.
And you have a company, a publishing company. You want to talk to us real quick about that, about your publishing company?
Yes. We're currently expanding our company with new management. We're also venturing into the e-commerce world, setting up our company's website, and you will be able to see all of our authors in different genres of their writing. It's going to be a great experience in 2015, taking things to the next level. I don't really view my company as a competitor with other companies because I believe that what we have is something very unique. But I do know that it's one of those things that will set the mark to cause us to stand out against other companies and what they provide and et cetera. Maximize Publishing, not just because I own the company, it's a great experience for any author. The accomplishment is always great. I work with a lot of first-time authors who lately have continued to come back. So they're happy with the product, they're happy with the service, and if you need to get in touch with Maximize Publishing, you can do so at info@maximizepublishinginc.com, info@maximizepublishinginc.com. We provide publishing services, everything from your author branding, cover creation, author coaching. We also provide marketing services. We also provide, so any of those things that you would need to help you take your vision, your book, your product to the next level, we are here to help you.
Awesome. Where can people learn more about you and your new book?
You can look up my website. It's www.michaelmccain.org, or you can go to Amazon.com, Books A Million, or Powell Books. I am listed literally everywhere a book could be sold.
Thank you, Dr. Michael McCain. Really appreciate you on the show this evening. Have a great one.
Thank you. Likewise.
You're welcome. Folks,